And let's do it as a district, because right now we have a number of colors based on the different elementaries having their own colors. But that's really not uniform across the district. That is uniform by building. And I could understand that, because at one time the district was set up based on site-based decision-making. And we no longer have site-based decision-making, because many of the initiatives that were under site-based decision-making are no longer in the district. And now we have a curriculum that is aligned K-12. And so we're trying to align the entire district, not only curriculum-wise, but with uniforms as well. And it's been a major piece. And so with the discipline committee meeting next week, having its first meeting, we decided that we would also put the uniform piece in with the discipline piece, to have the advisory committee that's working with that to look at that piece as well. One, economically, it's a lot cheaper to send students to school in a uniform. You don't have to have 20 uniforms to send students to school. And then the other piece is, you don't have to try and keep up with society and all of the changes, because it makes so many, in a small urban district that we are, in the small urban district that we are. And we look at the housing and the low socioeconomic status of some of our students, it's more economical to put them in uniform than rather than have them just wear what the world says it's okay to wear. It ties into discipline, because now they are expected to look a certain way, act a certain way, and also it starts at an early age of teaching them how to dress to be successful in society. Some of the stuff that's out on the market, I don't want my grandchildren wearing it. But I don't have any qualms with the uniform. We had a couple of incidents at two of our schools that there is a great deal of misunderstanding, misconception, and there were some who disagreed on how the situations were handled. And then we had some situation, and even in both of those situations, happening at the two middle schools and what has been alleged to have happened at the high school, we have some consistency problems that we need to work out. And that was something that we also worked on in our retreat yesterday, and we talked about it at great length, to talk about consistency across the district at the elementary level and at the secondary level, because we grouped the middle schools and the high school together as secondary, and we need to make sure that there is consistency in our discipline policy. There were some things that were mentioned, I don't know if they were in the paper or on the news, that an assault had occurred at KG. There was no assault. A student brought weapons to school, and another student reported it, and that's how we knew that they were there. And acted upon that. The teacher being struck at Northwest, in that incident, the authorities were called, but the parent beat the authorities to the school and they took the kid out, even though, you know, charges were filed against the student. But sometimes the way the stories are told by either one party telling another party, or who's telling the story to the media, whether written or, you know, electronic, sometimes it's all in the way the story is told and what the facts are. And if we just deal with the facts, because we can't get into details of talking about students and those type things, so if we just tell the facts as they are, then we can go from there. Let me say for the record that I was brought in as a change agent. That's one piece. When I take the approach of dealing with staff, I try to do it in a humane way. Some people do not understand my dry humor. The other piece is there is a way that I can be direct and say what I need to say, and sometimes that's a problem. Because if I ask a person to do his or her job, bottom line, that's all I'm asking. Do your job. And sometimes what we have is, we have in this community and in this school system, whether we want to face it or not, but we do still have a community culture that we have to change. The school system is not the school system that we had in 1990, when Meridian Public Schools was the #1 school in the state. It's a different district. The population is different. And I am not saying by any means that with the population that we have now, we can't get back to being the #1 school district in the state. We have to change the way we teach. We have to change the way that we have been teaching. And then we have to make school meanable. We have to establish relationships with our students. And by that same token, I have to establish a relationship with the staff. It may not be the relationship that they want, because I don't want staff to feel, or the community to feel, that I'm here just trying to run people away, run people over. No, that's not what I'm saying. And I'll give you an easy example of something that I said that has been taken totally out of context. I made the statement that when you come to work dressed professionally. If we're going to say that we want students to wear their uniforms and wear them properly, why can't staff come to work dressed and looking professionally when they come to work? And the statement that I made was, I don't want you coming to work like you going to the club, because I had information that I know I have 2 principals who sent someone home this year to change because they were not dressed professionally. That was some information that I had to base that decision and that statement on, that other folk took out of context. The other piece that I want to say on that instance is, if I'm speaking to the whole staff, and I want the entire staff to hear what I have to say at the same time, if I make a statement like that and you know it does not apply to you, it shouldn't bother you.